you've been out there, I mean, giving so many talks. You've been out on this path, I mean, for many years, and I mean, you bring a whole history with you, I mean, through teaching and then the worker, and I mean, this whole movement that you and so many people are, and now in particular with, you know, the Middle East, but we don't need to go to the Middle East. What I want to ask is, what is the vibe that you get from the people? Not necessarily the type of people that you met last night, but in general, and you talk to young kids and all kinds of people, what's the vibe that you get?
Common sense. I think people that I see when I'm outside of my own home in Chicago, whether it's at university campuses or sometimes within, you know, the peace movement, which is mainly where I go if I'm invited someplace else. But I think I do catch a vibe that people have a lot of collective common sense. That's why I think the general public said, let's put Obama in. We're tired of being led into war after war. I think people have a lot of common sense about how they like to see changes in the approach of the United States and its foreign policy, and might even be willing to accommodate big domestic changes too. But there's not a lot of get up and go and do something based on what you see as a common sense approach. I think we're very vulnerable to what I might call fatalism, that if we can analyze the problems, people are willing to vote, but the idea that you and your group could make a difference in the shaping of policies in this country is a bit of a stretch, I think, for many people. And then people get distracted, and I think there's a lot of assistance for that. And it's both in the kind of some of the mandatory shopping that people feel that they have to be involved in, and it's also in the entertainment. I think a lot of people are raising children and feel like, you know, there are numerous demands for taking their children to sporting events and taking their children to different kinds of
guitar lessons, dance lessons, gymnastics lessons. So
it's in the car. It's to the mall. Go to the grocery store, and people's lives are very, very full. So there isn't always a chance to slow down and think about where our futures are heading. But again, people are willing to sacrifice much of their sense of convenience or their own recreation or leisure for the sake of their children. So my feeling is that there's a great possibility that people who are dedicated to their children and to their grandchildren might be more than willing, if given just an invitation and maybe some setting that's manageable, to slow down and really think about where our society is heading, particularly now when the collapse of some of the financial institutions have hit people in their own pocketbook, have altered people's life choices, particularly now when there might not be so much faith that the people in higher places know more than we do and have more common sense than we do. In fact, it might be just the opposite. I think that this is a time when some significant change could happen in the way that United States people approach their governance and approach their role in taking responsibility.
Right. Thanks.